right, so let's have a look what we've got coming up for you. It's the only major arcana that came up, and it's your underlying energy. But I don't feel... See, when death comes up, it's change, yes, it's transformation, but it's not like the tower where it suddenly happens, it comes out of nowhere. We are very aware of this energy, we see it happening. It's where we see things changing, you know, there might have been people leaving our lives, situations ending. And it all happens to allow new energy in, right? Death is also death and rebirth. The death of an old situation, birth of a new. That's what the death card says. And so if you've been going through change, kind of feels like you'll see... I kind of saw this for another... I don't remember who it was, but they got death. But it felt like it was the end part of death, right? Because I mean, if death is change, it would be the equivalent of, say, we were going to redecorate a room in the house. That's the example I always give for death. If you're going to redecorate a room, you're going to remove all the furniture. You're going to, you know, at some point, that room's going to be totally empty and bare. And that's the point, usually, when death shows up, where we think, what the hell? Everything's gone from my life. I have nothing. And that's the point where you can start, you know, repaint the room. It gets freshened up and it's transformed. You can now bring new furniture in. So that's the energy of death. It's underlying. But you know what? I think it's whatever changes you have been going through, because I don't think it just starts this week. There's something that's been rolling through your life for a while. Like I said, it's slow energy. It doesn't happen like the tower. It's kind of showing you who you truly are. Because we have the Queen of Swords coming up here. And the Queen of Swords is very much all about her truth. She's gone through so much, you know, and with death coming up, losses, right? You may have experienced losses. And she's called the Heartbreak Queen, the Divorce Queen, the Widow Queen, because she's lost so much. But she comes out of it strong, not just strong, stronger. And what's the thing I always say about her? You know, damaged people are dangerous. They know they can survive. And I started to add on the end of that, not just survive, but they can thrive. And that's her. She's very much about her truth. She's gone through too much not to speak her truth, just to authentically be who she is. And that's been a big message that's been coming through for a lot of people, a lot of signs. It's just you. I talk about it in the outro where, you know, that's all you have left at some point, you know, just who you are. That's all you have left to express or to give. And she gives the truth, but she will expect it back as well. She expects you to come to her authentically. Good, bad, ugly, don't lie to her. She will cut you with that sword. So that's a very strong energy to have at the heart of your reading. Either your focus is on an air sign who's like that, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. It could be anyone, right? The signs don't own the cards. They just lend their characteristics to the cards. But it's this change, whatever this loss has been, I feel like it's been going on for a while. It's turned you into this. It's made you into this Queen of Swords energy. And, you know, the thing is, the transformation into her, it's not been fun. Let's just say it, because we have this energy in the past or the foundation. And the past or foundation energy, that can be last week, last month, last year. It doesn't matter. It just shows where we are now compared to where we were then. And in the past, this is fun, right? The Page of Wands is fun. He's exciting. He's enthusiastic. He's the muse. I always see him. He's offered a new adventure. He's like the Knight of Wands. But more so, you know, excitable, because he's younger, he's a page, right? And it kind of feels like you've lost a lot of your kind of playfulness or fun side. Because what we have coming up here, where you might have had friends before or interacted with people before, you know, whether it's your love life, it's going to be flirty text messages, you know, that kind of thing. Or even with your friends, just going out, having a laugh. Where you did that before, now your connections with people, and you might have narrowed it down, right? You're not just charging around all over the place, being friends with everyone. Now you have like an inner circle, the people that matter to you, that are there for you, that love and support you. Now there may be a shift up here because, you know, we have death sat above the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is our support network. The people that we love and support and that love and support us. Reconnecting with loved ones, you know, family, friends. But there seems to be a shake up here. That's where the transformation has been for you with death rolling through here. Who you connect with, who you trust. And I'm going to say this because, I mean, we don't have any kind of aces or anything like that coming up. I mean, the Page is a new beginning, but it's in the past. I see pages as very similar to aces. Lesser energy, but similar to the aces because they do talk about beginnings as well. It kind of feels, though, with death coming in, and especially the way it's moving, the way the reading flows, we have the Seven of Swords in the future, that you there might be an offer or something that comes in, or people that want to be your friends or stay your friends, or, you know, a lover, whatever. This is relationships for me. But when I talk about relationships, I don't just mean romantic. Every single relationship in our life, colleagues, friends, family members, whatever. There's been a shake up there, and I kind of feel like you don't want to take the risk anymore. You don't want to take the risk. You don't want to deal with certain people. That's where there's been the transformation, the shake up, because we have the Seven of Swords coming up as a possible future energy. I mean, you might be hanging around with a group of people here and just leave, you know. This is that kind of person who just slips away in the middle of the night. I wouldn't recommend that you do that. I wouldn't recommend that you do that, not with the Queen of Swords sat there. And that's never nice, guys. That's not how... I know some people do it. They just kind of cut people out and think, screw it, I ain't doing this. The Seven of Swords is the liar, cheater, deception card, right? It doesn't mean that we're always lying to other people, but it's like we don't want to take a risk when that card comes out. We're working on something in secret. But like I said, it's the person that slips away in the middle of the night. And I wouldn't do that, not with the Queen of Swords Sabbath. She doesn't lie and she doesn't deceive. She's very much about her truth, remember what I said about her? So you'd be going against your core self if you were the one that did that. If you were the one that did that. Because the future doesn't just happen. It's a projection of where the present is. And I get it, you know, when you've gone through death energy, there might be relationships that have ended. There might be people that you just don't, they just don't support you anymore. They just don't support you. Or maybe they never did, right? That they were good with you when you were all fun and games. And now when you want something a little bit more emotional, you know, to connect with them at a deeper level, to offer support and to be supported, no, they're just not there for you. That's what I'm kind of getting. You just don't feel it. And so, yeah, it makes sense. But I think this reading is about how you deal with that, how you deal with it. And Seven of Swords is never the way to go, because what happens is, you know, that's when people say, oh my God, so-and-so came back from the past, or this happened and that happened and this situation won't go away. It's because we never get closure. We never get closure when we do that. So this is to allow everyone to have their say and say, look, this is why it doesn't work. I'm out. That's the Queen of Swords. That's what she says. So deal with it in that way if you have to deal with this situation. I know it's kind of specific, guys, but somebody needs to hear this. The advice is the Ten of Wands. The advice is the Ten of Wands. Now, whether this is partnerships, like romantic or friends or family or whatever, right? Colleagues at work, whatever it is. With the Ten of Wands coming up, that's the kind of litmus test here. That's what's going to let you know who to keep and who to not keep in your life. I mean, it would be great if that was the Ace of Swords. If that was the Ace of Swords, I would have said to you guys, are great, new clarity, new way of communicating, you have new ideas, you're cutting people out and you're going forward. That's empowered. This is, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. That's what the Seven of Swords is saying. Which, trust me, when I say this, you will have to deal with it at some point. No one gets to just leave situations like that. It's not the nicest way to do it. So, you know, the best thing to do is when you have the Ten of Wands, and I get it. The Ten of Wands is telling me that the reason you're not this fun person now, you know, this kind of, the way you used to be, all kind of fun loving and the rest of it, is because you've got this bloody burden that you've been carrying. And no one's been helping you. He's struggling by himself. But is no one helping you because you haven't asked? I mean, even in the Three of Cups, have you asked? Things have changed. Are you still trying to put on the front that you're the same person that you were? Because I've seen that with people, you know, one minute they're like this, and then the next minute they go a little quiet, but they're still okay. And you ask them what's wrong, and they say, oh, nothing, I'm just tired. Great. Then the next minute they've just like noped the hell out of a situation. Like, what the hell happened here? And they kind of act as if you should know, but how are you going to know unless they tell you, right? So that's the kind of energy that's coming up here. But with the Ten of Wands, it's you have so many burdens on you. There's so much going on. And like I said, tell people, communicate it. She would authentically be herself. At the heart of the reading, that's what the focus is on. And I think you're being advised to be the Queen of Swords. You know who you are now. And you're not the same person that you were. Death has made sure of that. You're transformed. You're transformed. But it's about letting other people know what you've changed into. And trust me, guys, I have a Sagittarius rising. It just clicked to me that I've been going through this. And because I don't usually connect with the readings. I don't put myself in the reading when I'm reading. But yeah, I can understand this. I can relate to this. There's been a lot of changes in who I am. especially they've been accelerating the last few weeks. And I'm having to have a few conversations with people and say, I'm not that person anymore. And yeah, some people may not want to. That may not be you. That may be other people saying, you know what? I don't know if I want to be around you. You were great when we used to go out drinking and partying and the rest of it. But this kind of stuff, no, I don't want to do it. If they're not going to help you carry the burden, and not just carry the burden, like, okay, it's people, sometimes we have burdens that people cannot help us carry. But you don't want people to add to the burden, right? Do you see what I mean? If you can't help me, great, don't help me. But don't jump on my back as well. I can't carry you as well as carry myself. And that's the 10 of Wands. It's time to put that down, though. When the 10 of Wands shows up, it says it's time to put it down. And I think it's going to mean something to you, Sagittarius. It's going to mean something to you. Like, this is something that you're going through, this phase. And it's always a phase, right? That's the only constant in life, that things keep changing and the wheel keeps turning. But it kind of feels like this is something that you will remember. It will shape you. It will become part of your truth. That when I needed people, there was no one there for me. Or not no one. You'll know. I think there is support here. 3 of Cups says there is support. But I think the kind of support that you want has changed. And that's why I kind of feel like you're being advised against the 7 of Swords. And I know you're going, it's against that because of the Queen of Swords. And if you think someone's lying to you, Sagittarius, call them out in it. The Queen of Swords would. She won't let people get away with it. And you might say, well, I've got too much on my plate to deal with other people's lies. Put the weight down. You know, call people out on their shit if you have to, but say it. Don't just struggle alone. Don't just struggle in silence. I think Cancer got something similar to this. I think it was Cancer. Love who you are. You're a divine and wonderful person, deserving all of the wonderful things that life has to offer. And I kind of feel that that's this, the Queen of Swords. You have become someone new. You have become someone new, guys. But it's about rolling that out. And I get this completely. You know, when you feel differently, you're speaking differently, you know, you're behaving different because you're not the same person. Everything changes, right? When you change from the inside, it kind of rolls outwards. And it can be hard. And one of the examples I always give is, you know, whoever we interact with, we have a dance that we do. And that relationship is used to that dance. Whether it's your partner, your husband, your wife, your mum, dad, you know, your best friend, you have a dance. Now, when you change, you will come in with a different dance. And that's normal. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, we're always changing. And I need to tell a mutable sign at you that, but we're always changing. Now, what happens is when they try to come in doing the old dance, so you're going to bump into each other, you know, step on each other's toes. Now, that's the point where most people get uncomfortable. So what it looks like here, usually I'll say someone gets uncomfortable and then you just go back to the old dance because it's easier, but you can't go back to the old dance because you're someone new now. So the solution that you're looking for is the other extreme. I'll just get out of there, forget the dance. But discernment, guys, discernment. Who do you hang in there with and allow them and give them time to kind of learn this new you? And who do you just cut out completely? And it can't be, that's the advice. It can't be because it's too much hassle to do it. I can't be bothered to do it. I've got too much on my plate. Because they might be able to help you, right? They might be able to help you carry this. But love who you are. That's going to power this. If you love the new you and you think, this is my truth. I know who I am. I stand in my truth. All right. So we have round and round, right? Round and round is when we keep going. We keep ending up in the same situation. Same situation keeps coming up. Oh, it feels like it because round and round doesn't always say that. It is a spiral. Yeah. So, you know, we can feel like we're going round and round. But have a look. It's coming upwards. It's almost like steps. I know it looks like a shell. But you can go round and round, but you can spiral upwards. So you are ascending, you are getting somewhere, you are moving towards success. But it might just be that you're thinking, oh, why do I have to keep doing this again? Maybe that's why you don't deal with it. Because you're just like, I don't want to do the same thing again. Discernment though, guys. This is about, and I've talked about this a lot on Instagram, where just to express, right? Express who you are. The people that... Trust me, the people that don't want to deal with you, they won't be around themselves. Maybe it's them that disappear, right? And you don't want them in your life, people that do that. You don't want to compromise on who you are, on your own truth. All right. It says, dear you, what is true for you? Someone else got this. This one's been coming up a lot. Can you be impeccable with your word? Sure you can. As long as it's not used to manipulate others. 7 of Swords, right? Manipulate others. The truth can set everyone free. See, more Queen of Swords, less Seven of Swords. This one definitely applies for your reading. Let go of the results, let go of your fears, and allow the truth to empower you and others. This will set into motion a kind of change that will be supportive of you and loving and all kinds of prosperous. This is not a time to compromise and hide your truth from others. Whatever it is you want, go for it and be clear in your motives, especially with yourself. You'll be so happy you did. This is a time where you will tap into the power to co-create and manifest your best life. Doesn't that feel amazing? And the results? Miraculous. When you tell the truth and ask the same of others, you can learn a lot from life's bountiful lessons and achieve your dreams. Love you always. And guys, that's the other thing. It might not be anything as extreme as what I've been saying. Sometimes it can be you're going through something and you have friends or people that support you, but you're not telling them. You're struggling just alone with the burden or the weight. And that's not cool either. If you have people, I'd be annoyed, if I had someone in my life and I get it, sometimes they want to struggle alone. But if you're really struggling alone and it's going to cause you hurt and pain and whatever, you're 50%, each person in the relationship is responsible for their half of that relationship. So your half of the relationship is to communicate what's wrong. I'm going for this. Now, the other person has the right to say, oh, great, good luck. Or, hey, can I help? But, that's up to them. We don't attach any kind of expectation to that. But express, right? You express your truth like the Queen of Swords. And then accept whatever truth they come up with. But yeah, it kind of feels it's around relationships and support. And someone who's struggling by themselves. And you don't have to struggle alone, Sagittarius. You really don't.